Today we are going to tell you about Escape and Chase, but before, don't forget to like and share. Stay with movies. On a cold Wednesday night in Sao Paulo, a police operation moved to a critical point in the South Zone with the aim of intensifying the fight against property crimes. However, the focus of the day quickly shifted to the North Zone, an area known for its high concentration of young people using stolen motorcycles and cars to perform dangerous maneuvers. The stolen motorcycles, often used as a form of currency in the criminal underworld, were found speeding through the streets, driven by unlicensed drivers, some of whom were involved in drug trafficking. The police officers, fully aware of what they were up against, were prepared for a long night of stop-and-search operations and vehicle seizures. The weather was cold, the sky cloudy, and the team patrolled the streets, hoping to recover a stolen vehicle. The weather's closing today, but who knows, we might get lucky, one officer commented as he strategically positioned himself at a busy intersection, waiting for the first signs of criminal activity. Suddenly, the team was informed about a suspicious motorcycle riding without plates, driven by two young men. The officers decided to take action. They approached, surrounded the vehicle, and began to stop. The driver, apparently nervous, tried to explain the situation, but the documents were incomplete, and the motorcycle, with a scratched-off chassis number, was immediately identified as stolen. The scene unfolded with a mix of tension and routine for the officers, who were used to this kind of stop. The young man, with no way to prove the origin of the vehicle, tried to shift the focus of the conversation. "This bike belongs to my friend," he claimed, but without any proof. The officer's response was direct and clear. "Where are the documents? Who is this friend? Let's go to the station to sort this out." The operation continued at a fast pace. In just a few minutes, another motorcycle was stopped. This time, the driver claimed to work as a delivery driver for a local pizzeria. Without documents to prove his identity and giving evasive answers about his workplace, he was also taken to the police station. The motorcycle he was driving was checked, and once again, signs of tampering were found. As the night went on, the police made a third stop. This time, a group of 4 young men on 2 motorcycles caught their attention. The bikes were speeding and performing dangerous maneuvers, and the officers decided to act quickly. They intercepted the group.
"Hey, you who are watching a movie. I see that you didn't leave your like and didn't subscribe to the channel. Give me this strength for me to bring more content to you. Thank you."
And the stop revealed that the 2 drivers were known drug dealers in the area. The motorcycles, with scratched-off numbers and no plates, were seized, and the young men were taken to the police station to face legal action. The operation proceeded successfully, but there was still much to be done. The seized vehicles were sent for forensic analysis, and the individuals detained would have to answer for their actions. With each stop, the police reinforced the message that the fight against property crimes and drug trafficking was ongoing and effective throughout Sao Paulo. The night ended with a number of seizures and arrests. For the officers, the day was another victory in the constant battle against crime, but they knew that the next day, they would be back on the streets, ready to face new challenges. "If you've got nothing to hide, you've got nothing to fear," they commented as they prepared to end their shift and ensure that justice would prevail. As the operation progressed, the officers remained vigilant for any suspicious activity. The exhausting routine, interspersed with moments of adrenaline, reinforced the team's commitment. In the streets of the North Zone, the scene was a mix of apparent tranquility and the underlying chaos of criminal activity. Stolen motorcycles and dangerous maneuvers were only part of the equation. The connection to drug trafficking and juvenile delinquency added an even greater challenge for the officers. The stop in Freguesia do neighborhood. Around 10 p.m., a new piece of information came over the radio. A group of young people had been seen gathered at a known spot in the Freguesia do neighborhood, an area that had been standing out for the increasing number of vehicle thefts. Motorcycles, frequently used for quick crimes, were seen as one of the main targets of the operation that night. The team quickly moved to the location, maintaining maximum discretion so as not to alert the suspects. Upon arrival, they found 3 motorcycles parked in front of an apparently vacant house, with the young men outside, talking and smoking. Without wasting time, the police initiated the stop. "Hands where we can see them! Everybody, freeze!" The firm command was immediately obeyed. The tension was palpable, but the officers' training kept the situation under control. The young men, with no documents or convincing explanations, were searched. One of the motorcycles once again presented the same pattern: a scratched-off chassis number, no plate, and signs of tampering with the engine. "This bike is mine. I bought it recently," one of the nervous young men tried to argue. However, without the necessary documents, he was taken to the patrol car to give a statement at the police station. The chase. While the officers were interrogating the group, a distant sound of a speeding engine caught everyone's attention. A motorcycle, approaching at high speed, appeared on the horizon. The officers immediately recognized the suspicious behavior and got into their cars. The atmosphere of action took over the team. The chase through the narrow streets of the North Zone was quick and dangerous. The motorcycle, driven by a young man without a helmet, sped around tight corners, trying to shake off the police. However, the officers' experience prevailed. With the support of other patrol cars, they managed to corner the fugitive in a dead-end street. The young man, desperate, abandoned the motorcycle and tried to run on foot but was quickly apprehended. During the stop, the reason for the escape became clear. The motorcycle had been stolen 2 days earlier, and the young man had a long criminal record for theft and drug trafficking. He was handcuffed and taken to the station. The motorcycle, another recovered vehicle, was seized for forensic analysis. The outcome of the operation. Already in the early hours of the morning, the team returned to base to review the final results. The night had been successful, several motorcycles seized, traffickers and fences arrested, along with valuable information for future operations. However, for the officers, the feeling was that the work was just beginning. Crime adapts quickly, and new challenges arise every day on the streets of Sao Paulo. "It's a constant struggle," one of the officers remarked as he reviewed the reports. "For every bike we recover, we know others are being stolen. But we won't give up. Each of these operations is another step toward bringing peace to the community." As the clock ticked into the early hours of the morning, the team began to prepare for the next operation. Crime fighting never rests, and the officers knew that for every criminal arrested, others were waiting to take their place. But with determination and strategy, they would continue to patrol the streets, bringing safety and justice to the population. Impact on the community. Operations like this one are not only vital for combating crime itself, but also for restoring a sense of safety to the community. The constant presence of the police, the seizures, and the arrests are signs that the security forces are alert and ready to act. In the weeks following the operation, residents of the North Zone reported a decrease in dangerous motorcycle maneuvers and greater calm on the streets. Collaboration between the community and the police also intensified. Anonymous tips began to surface more frequently, providing crucial leads for continuing investigations. "It's important that people trust our work," highlighted one of the operations commanders. "When the community feels safe, it collaborates more, and that helps us fight crime more effectively." Conclusion. Throughout this night of patrol and action, it became clear that combating crime in Sao Paulo is arduous and continuous work. The stops conducted by the officers, often risky, resulted in important seizures and arrests that directly impacted the city's daily life. However, crime, especially when it involves young people and drug trafficking, is a deep problem that requires more than isolated operations. It demands a joint effort between public security, social policies, and the community to create lasting changes. This operation was a clear example of how the dedicated work of police officers can make a difference, bringing safety and hope to the city's most vulnerable areas. But at the same time, it made it clear that the fight against crime must be relentless. And so, the men and women of the law will continue, day after day, patrolling the streets, protecting people, and ensuring that, even in the areas most affected by violence, justice always prevails.